Hi guys, I'll answer any questions for you.
Second row left, Lori.
Coach, I think your most two talked about victories while at Ohio State has been 2012 Michigan State and then 2014 Penn State. And I'm kind of wondering about the chicken and egg effect. Is it because those
Chicken and egg.
Yeah, great wins during a good season that we talk about it, or do all great teams have that moment where things click for them?
I think I know exactly. The answer is true that every great team has that moment. Very rarely do you just run, just have one of those great, just years. So I can go back as far back as I've been coaching that you have those moments. And Wisconsin that we just had was that, that's kind of over and we got to keep pushing, but that was one of those moments. And the moment is this, is that someone has to make a play to go win that game. And guys that maybe haven't in the past have. And Noah Brown, obviously, he's, his first year really playing. Made a great play, and then Sam Hubbard's and Taekwon Lewis's and those guys made some plays to help us win. But I know exactly what you're saying, and I hope that becomes it. It's too early we've got so much football left.
Unrelated note, but I mean, the last two games Joey Julius has played in, that player's been ejected for.
Joey Julius.
Yeah, their kicker. Has Kevin Holmes come up with a way to stop him from the hardest hitting kicker in college football?
Yeah, we watched him today, matter of fact, and he's good. So we just got to be aware of him.
Second row left, Bill.
Okay, sorry. I'm just going to ask you again about Dante Booker. I know I asked you last week.
He's good. He's going to play this week.
He's going to play?
He's going to play, yep.
Ari.
Urban, we asked Dante on Monday about his punt return decision-making. At times it looked a little bit scary, like he might have turned it over on one. And I was just wondering, he said that he wants that you guys always urge him to be very aggressive because every inch matters in this game. And I was just wondering what your take was on how he performed when you saw the punt return game on film, and were any of those a little bit too scary for you?
I saw if we would have blocked one, we would have had a shot of a big return. And I like aggressive guys, and everything about our program is somewhat aggressive. There's a difference between non-intelligent and over-aggressive, and we have to watch that. But I always like to slow people down as opposed to encourage them. So we have a kind of the culture mentality around here. You're going to go after and be very aggressive. So after I'm so tied up into this one, I can't remember. I think he did okay, and if he didn't, we corrected him. You're talking about punt returns against Wisconsin?
Yeah, there was one
I can't remember.
in the game, it seemed that he said he never thought he was going to lose it, but in the third quarter might have changed the game dramatically.
It didn't. We won. We're fine.
Second row right, Ben.
We talked about Saquon Barkley a couple of times this weekend. Is the fear with a guy who's a potential first-round pick that you can do everything right and you can
That's it.
just take over a game?
I talked to Coach Fickle right before we were going out, and I said, just give me some thoughts that your biggest concerns. And he said the tailbacks, you can have everything locked down, and he creates plays. And that's a little bit like our JT Barrett and Noah Brown when you're covered and he makes a play. So great players have that's what makes them great, is even when it's not there. Because a lot of guys can do when it's wide open, go run the ball, but he's dynamic.
Front row right, Austin.
Urban, you talked about Noah Brown making that clutch, meaningful play. What makes a receiver good in those tight spaces? Obviously, you had the one in Oklahoma as well. As a receiver, can you practice that, or you just have to be born with that?
Oh, no, you got to practice it, develop it, work it, and Mike Thomas developed that. Noah Brown kind of had that when he got here. He's worked on his body and his elusiveness, but he's always had those ridiculous hands that, I don't want to jinx him, but when he usually gets near it, he's going to come down with it. And he's he's different than Curtis Samuel. He's a big-bodied guy that when he contacts is his friend. Smaller receivers, contact is not their friend. He's a guy like Mike Thomas. He's better in those tight situations with people.
Front row right there, Bill.
You were asked about this a little bit the other day, but you guys are really good in the red zone on offense, but especially on defense, giving up 4 touchdowns and 16 times. Why do you think you've been so successful in that area?
Good players, number one, is always the reason. Number two is I think our scheme and our players believe in it. Number three is because we practice it an inordinate amount of times, probably relative to most other people. Every third day in spring practice, we're in the red zone. Every third day of training camp, we're in the red zone. And our defense, this group especially, this staff especially wants, most defense coaches get a little, why are we going red zone again? Why are we going red zone again? Our guys thrive in it because they want to get, that's the money area. So every other situation is kind of, correlates with how many times that happens in a game. For example, you don't practice 3rd and 10 more than what you're actually going to see in the game. Red zone, in our mind's completely different. If you're only going to see it 4 times a game, we practice it multitudes more than that. So it's in, does that make sense? That doesn't correlate. However, that's the value we place on it.
Does your scheme change? Does the mentality change? Is anything different about the way you play defense?
Oh, I think so. Yeah, I mean, I think so. I think it's you get what you emphasize, and that's obviously emphasized around here, and it's one of the plans to win, score in the red zone, and it's not field goals. We don't get paid to kick field goals, and our defense, if it's red zone opportunity for them, stop them and force a field goal. So.
Far left, Mitch.
Can you talk in more detail about Barkley and what you see he's doing so well this year?
We saw last year too. He kind of had it coming out. We didn't really know who he was that well because he didn't have a lot of success. But after our game, and you see him this year, he's picked up where he left off. He's one of the top backs in America. Elusiveness.
Far right, Jared.
Remember you mentioned Dante coming back this week. How about Jerome, the season he's put together, the guy who wasn't starting to your leading tackler at Wisconsin. How far has he come in those weeks of development, and how do you see him continuing to play with Dante still there?
I didn't say Dante's going to start. He's not quite at 100% yet, but it's only, Wednesday? But is cleared to play. That you have to talk to Coach Fickle more about that. I don't micromanage how he manages his personnel. We need them all. This is a long season, and we have a rotation at defensive end now with Jalen Holmes, Hubbard, and Bosa, and there's one other one, Taekwon. So that's kind of, Dante, when he comes back, will be a starting linebacker at Ohio State. Now, does that mean he'll be in the first team? I don't know, but he'll play when he's 100%.
In terms of what Jerome has done?
I think it's great. I think he is a guy that we saw that talent last year. That's why we decided to play him. Even, I want to say he missed the first 5 games because you start thinking about I hate that word around here, red shirt, and then play him. He's too good of a player. And we saw the talent. And he's really doing a nice job.
Front row right, Tim.
Yeah, Irvin, a couple things. Number one, you talked about Noah Brown a while ago. Do you see other young receivers making steps that you've been wanting to see in the last several weeks? I mean, James Clark had a pretty big catch last
Huge
week.
catch. I do. We're not near satisfied. We're not where we need to be at that position yet. And Corey Smith's injury has kind of set us back a little bit too. We're counting on him, and he's got that. I think we're going to get some playing time as we move forward. He had surgery on his wrist. He's going to get his hands, the use of his fingers back. So, no, I think that's an area we still need to improve.
That's what I was going to say, because you talked about this earlier in the week about guys fighting off man coverage, creating space. I mean, is that just young receivers learning? Obviously, some of those guys aren't young, but they're inexperienced. Is that just them learning their craft, or how would you?
Yeah, it's all the above. It's all the above. I mean, it's like what makes a defensive end become a great pass rusher? Technique, but then he's got to do it. And we're not panicking. We're not where we need to be. At times, they play very well. Like you said, James Clark had an incredible play to get us going. Noah's been pretty consistent throughout the whole year. Paris is a big play waiting to happen. So we're developing a little bit. We're having a little bit of growing pains in that position, but we're going to be good.
One quick, defensively, then, the more you've studied them, I'm talking about Penn State, does anything jump out at you about, I mean, have you seen some improvement in recent games?
Oh yeah, their last 2 games, they're playing. There's a lot of energy right now in that program, and wins do that for you. And their last 2 games, they played their best game, obviously, against Maryland, all the way around.
And final questions, Clay?
If or when the Tribe gets in the World Series, what would that mean to you?
Oh, that'd be great. Someone said they're up in the 9th inning. Any updates? What? What? I know, but how many? I know. Any outs? Oh, okay. Huge Tribe fan. We had, I'm sure you saw, we had the Cleveland Cavaliers show up, and I told people there's 2 types of people in this world, those from Cleveland and those who wish they were. So the team got a good, just like you guys, got a good kick out of that.
Folks, thank you.
Thank you, guys.